All right. That should be good now. Let's make sure. Y'all there. Can y'all hear me? Anybody there? Check, check. Get my YouTube docs out here. All right, good to go. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back to our Friday night lives. It is Valentine's Day. I don't know if y'all are single. Y'all are here to hang out. I think my wife, I don't know if she's awake yet. She was taking a nap. She worked today. So nope, she's awake. Uh-oh. So letting us do this. Yeah, the audio, for whatever reason, OBS, my audio was messed up. I had to reboot real quick. Sorry about that. Welcome. How's everybody doing on this fine Valentine's Day? Hunter, what's going on? A lot of familiar faces. It's giving the old lady's date for this stream. Oh, that's a dangerous ball game, homie. I don't know if that's a good idea. How does bald feel? I mean, this is what I am, man. Look like what's that dude from God of War? That's what I'm gonna be for Halloween. Give us the tea. Salute. Live chat on Saturday? No, we were looking at different times that might work. I know a lot of people can't make on Friday evenings. So we put the poll out. There was probably, I don't know, there was a lot of people that responded, and majority of people wanted to keep it at the time that we got it. So that's what we're going to do. Kratos. Yeah. Just got to put some red face paint on and I'm good to go. Oh yeah, boys. First timer, let's get it. Hell yeah, man. Welcome. Jasmine, what's up? How are you? Yes, Daniel, you did. We had to reboot the stream because my audio was not working in OBS. That is standard at the start of every stream. Something goes wrong, but we can fix it quicker now and get this thing back online. Bald dudes repping on deck. What's up? All right, so like we decided, how's my audio? Too loud? Just about right. So we decided, thoughts on Mike Glover's situation. We'll get into that. We decided how we're going to do these lives. We're going to do first part of the lives, 15, 20 minutes Q&A. You guys ask whatever the hell you want because I know you guys like that. We'll just engage in whatever interesting conversations come up. What's 7 Special Forces Group doing? That's going to be the first thing we get in today to talk about. 7 Special Forces Group is about to head into Mexico to start training the Mexican Marines. So pretty big escalation in what's going on with the Battle of the Cartels. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a little bit about the Ukraine war and what we're going to do with these guys. We're going to do our lives. First 15, 20 minutes is going to be just, again, Q&A, whatever you guys want to talk about. If the conversation's good, we'll keep going. And then we'll usually have like 2 segments of things we talk about. So we'll talk about today, 7 Special Forces Group heading down to Mexico. And then 2, we'll talk a little bit about, is the war in Ukraine going to end? Because that is up in the air now, all of a sudden. All right, so we'll hit it up with some Q&A here first and see what we got going on with the chat on this lovely Valentine's Day. Can National Guard SF volunteer to hop on with 7th Group? It doesn't necessarily work that way. It's possible sometimes as a National Guard guy, but usually you're not getting attached to an active duty unit, usually. Do you think being a 6-8 whiskey will help you with 18 Delta? A lot of people think that. It makes sense, right? Medic, 18 Delta. No, it does absolutely nothing for you. And in fact, the vast majority of guys, like there was 6-8 whiskeys that got 18 Deltas. Lots of them that didn't. They really don't care there because they're going to teach you everything you need to know regardless. Best advice for getting fit for SFAS, get on our programming at Modern Athlete Strength. It's literally designed exactly to prepare you for something like that. Don't try to do it all on yourself. Um, like you got coaches out there that know exactly what you need to do. You might as well follow something like that. All right. All right. What else we got? Do Green Berets have their own EOD? Good question. We have 18 Charlies, which are our engineering sergeants that are trained in demo, but no, they are not dedicated EOD techs. So in most combat operations, we would have dedicated Army EOD, Navy EOD, whoever's around. So we'd have actual EOD techs attached to us most of the time. Didn't Delta train some cartels who then formed their own cartel? Yeah, sort of the Zetas. Yeah, that happened. That happens, right? Sometimes. That's really a lot of people don't really understand how this works. So Special Forces trains units, right? But Special Forces doesn't decide who we train, right? Intel apparatuses, the Department of Defense makes those decisions, the CIA, and then we go and train those units. Typically, it's the CIA that's determining those things. So if there's failures in picking who we should train, that's from the intelligence side of things. Green Berets, we don't decide. We just show up and do the job. What's the deal with BRCC, Black Rifle Coffee Company? What do you mean? What do you mean, what's the deal with them? They sell coffee. What's your question with that? I'm not a representative of Black Rifle Coffee Company. I'm friends with some guys over there, but you got to give me a more in-depth question than that. You think Marine Corps will get any of the cartel action? I think at the border itself, yeah. I think they'll probably start getting deployed there. Has there been any U.S. military versus cartel at the border? I think there's been some pop shot stuff here and there. The military is primarily concerned with securing the border right now, getting the walls up, concertina wire, all those different things. But I do think that as they cartel tries to smuggle things across the border, there is pretty high potential of that going forward. We'll just have to wait and see. I think it's a good idea to join the infantry if that's what you want to do. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to join the military for any young person. Think of the new SecDef, Pete Hegseth. I think he's doing a good job so far. People think he doesn't have enough experience because he's a major. Well, got a bunch of generals and they're terrible at doing their job too. So why was 7th Group chosen? Because 7th Group handles Central and South America. So Green Berets, the way Special Forces work, you have different groups, 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 10th. We each handle a different region of the world. For a Special Forces group that I was in, we handle Asia, right? So if there's deployments, stuff going on in Asia, the Taiwan, China conflict, that would be 1st group. If you're talking about Colombia, Mexico, Brazil, 7th group's going to handle that. So that's why they're going to be doing it. Do I think BORTAC are going to be trained for this? I mean, that's what they're already sort of trained for. They are definitely going to be used, I think, alongside like Federal Marshal, SOG groups, Border Patrol, ICE. Yeah, I think along the border dealing with like really dangerous areas and criminals, I think BORTAC's going to get used. But we'll have to wait and see. All right, a lot of questions here. 18x equals a joke? What do you mean? What's the joke about it? I was 18x. Did over 10 years in SF. Nice beard. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Will the op bring my food prices down? No, that's not the way inflation works. Your food prices are never going to go down. They're just going to go up less fast than they were. We don't have deflation. That's not the way the economy works. Don't expect any prices to go down. Hopefully they stagnate for a while. You can thank the last 4 years of insane 10% inflation in doing that for you. Hope that wages increase to match that because, yeah, prices aren't going down. Question: is there anything, in your opinion, the average citizen can do to fight the cartels? No. You do not want to go down that road. You do not want to try to fight the cartels as a civilian. Bad idea. As an 18 Echo, does it translate much to the outside of the military? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of sort of commo related jobs. A couple of my buddies work for Lockheed Martin, different stuff like that. So yeah, if you're into the communication side of things, there's a lot of opportunities. I wasn't personally. I hated being an 18 Echo. I didn't like the radios, didn't like technology. I just like being a door kicker, right? I did what I had to do the job, and then my focus was being on a element leader of a ODA. So bad advice, fight the cartels. Good luck, homie. Get out there. Go get them. Go get them, bro. Will any other groups other than 7th Group be sent to Mexico and like in GWAT? Depends on how big the conflict gets, guys. If it turns into a massive, widespread operation, potentially, we're not there yet. We got a ways to go, I think. Chris Lee. What's up, buddy? Appreciate it. 18X came after your time. Are you sure? Because the 18 X-ray program was around when my dad became a Green Beret in some forms and fashion. And that was in Vietnam. So I'm not sure that's true, buddy. Can I put a link down so I can find the group to help me get fit for SFAS? It should be in my links. If you go to the description of any of my videos, you'll see Modern Athlete Strength in there. Just click that. Or my Instagram. If you go to my link tree, you'll see it there. Ooh, you guys moving quick. Will Army Rangers be used? Maybe. It depends, right? I just think that the type of tactical stuff that's going to be done, because again, the cartels are really cartels aren't like by themselves separate in compounds. They're interlaced with everything. It's going to be hard to like send 80 fucking Rangers out to like hit a city and not have collateral damage that's out of control. So I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I know that is Special Forces going to be used. Yes, Green Berets will be the first ones in to start prepping the landscape and the battlefield like we always do, which is what's happening with 7th Group right now, which we're going to talk about. But follow-on soft units, I think a lot of them will start to be used. But we got to get there first. They brought it back after I chewed that Afghan dirt for softies like me. We have a fake Green Beret in the chat. Fu Manchu, pretending to be an SF dude. Hell yeah, brother. Get him. My bet is air is going to soften the space. I mean, yeah, but you got so much civilian. You got civilian collateral damage. That's a concern. Using CAS is very, very difficult in urban areas in general, let alone when you're dealing with a, it's not Fallujah, or we can drop bombs and say, whoopsies, killed a bunch of civilians. Uh-oh, didn't mean to. That's not how it works in a partner nation like Mexico. Uh-oh, Fu Manchu's going to get banned. Where's he at? There we go. I'll get rid of this dude. There we go. That's the thing, guys. Like, people think this is some type of fucking, what's it called? Fucking First Amendment applies here on my YouTube channel. Nah, man. You come here and try to be rude to people or people on my channel, I'll ban your ass immediately. I've got like 500 people banned on my channel. Come in and say racist shit. You come in and attack me. You come in and attack other viewers. You're going to get banned immediately. Get fucked. I have zero sympathy for you. All right. We got a super chat. John Lenham, the Mexican army will betray American Special Forces. Yeah, maybe. Your alternative is to do nothing. We've seen that, right? How well is that done? 350,000 missing children, 100,000 U.S. deaths a year from fentanyl. Sorry, homie, but we're going to take the risk of trying to do something positive. How was it like being stationed in Japan? It was awesome, man. We were there during COVID, which kind of sucked, but We were in Okinawa, which is great. It's kind of like Hawaii. My own cigars. Yeah, I don't do tobacco, man. I dipped and smoked for almost 20 years and I quit cold turkey when I retired and I don't touch any of it now. As much as I love it. I actually loved tobacco. I got these instead now. These are they're like Zins, but they're just caffeine. They don't have anything cool in them. Other than GBs, which other soft unit would you pick and why is it Navy SEALs? Yeah, I probably wouldn't pick the SEALs. I will say there's probably a good likelihood the SEALs are going to get used potentially in the southern border through the Gulf of America and dealing with counter narcotics and stopping the smuggling trade through the water side of things. I think there's a very likely, there's a pretty good likelihood of that. So I would say MARSOC, but I think MARSOC's on its way of getting disbanded, unfortunately. Get product, Valhalla product in Australia. I don't ship outside the country. Dude, it's just so expensive, man. Like a t-shirt will cost you like $70 in shipping. It's just not worth it. Sean, 18X. It's had a bunch of different names, man. I think officially as the 18 X-ray program, maybe it was in 2001. But there's been a lot of like off the street programs over the years. It's gone away, it's come back, it's gone away, it's come back. In different forms and fashions. Stop using drugs so we don't have to fight the cartels. Well, that ain't gonna happen. People love their drugs. All right, we got a super chat from Grand Bear. What's the over under on Mexican politicians getting schwacked? Very high. We talked about that on the War Room. So here's the reality of it. Now that we'll jump into talking about the specifics here of what's going on with Seventh Group. But leading up to that, what's happened is the Mexican Senate is who voted to approve that this type of training can start with Seventh Group. Now we've been doing some of it here and there, but so what does that mean? Politicians have now sort of bought in to America coming in and cleaning out the cartels. What does that mean? The cartels are not going to like that. And yes, is there likelihood that Mexican officials get schwacked? Yeah, I think there's pretty good likelihood. Right, the cartel as an organism is not going down without a fight. Best we can hope is that we don't see that violence on our side of the border, but I do think that Mexico itself is probably going to get heavily destabilized before it's going to get worse before it gets better, I think. Am I familiar with F&G Academy? I mean, I know Buck's channel. I don't know Buck at all personally. Don't have anything against him. Don't know him. Seems like a good dude. Dieter Niddles Bar, $2. No message. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you. Any experience with JTF2? No, not personally. Does most soft guys uses supplements to boost their performance? I mean, yeah. Did I ever think about going 18 Fox? I actually filled the role of an 18 Fox on my ODA, was about to go to the course. And then we had one come to the team, so we didn't need it. And we were about to go to Afghanistan. So, but yeah, I was at 18 Echo. Who do you think is better, MARSOC or the Green Berets? I mean, MARSOC is literally just kind of like a carbon copy of what SF is. So, I mean, I like MARSOC, but better? Depends on like at what. Know anyone in third group? Yeah, I know a bunch of people in third group. I know a bunch of people in every group, to be honest. Jerry Campbell? Are you talking about Big Jerry out of first group? Big Jerry was my team sergeant for a while. Ryan, let me know if that's who you're talking about. I'm assuming you are. TK going to be our next senator? No, I don't think he's going to make it in politics, but I do think he's trying to find his way, weasel his way into the Department of Defense, some type of appointed position. That's sort of what it looks like he's trying to do. Kevin says, love the channel. Thanks, bro. In 2019. Yep, I was on 1322 with Big Jerry as a team sergeant in 2019 for a little while. And then I went out to Okie right after that. If that's who you're talking about. Yep, you are. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know Jerry, man. Used to work for Jerry. Jerry's a good dude. Big motherfucker. One of the only guys bigger than me. Jerry used to live down the street from me, actually, out in Tacoma. I love Jerry, dude. That's a good dude. Are you serious about TK? What do you mean, am I serious about, like, Tim Kennedy? What do you mean? I don't know those Green Berets. I don't. All right. Oof, you guys are still cooking. Cooking. If TK gets a job at Fox News, I'm burning my TV. I think there's unfortunately a likelihood of it. He's been forcing his way in there. What language did I speak? Chinese Mandarin. Not very well, but, you know, I did. All right. 1 sec. I'll be back in 15 seconds. And I'm back. I'm back. All right. ODA 394. Oh, you're old school, bro. 3-digit ODAs. We went away from 3-digit ODAs right before I got to group. Let's get into it. All right, let's jump into it. Let's talk about 7th group. Hold on 1 second. Dude, y'all. Ryan knows somebody from the team I was on. Dude, y'all 1322 took me out on a month at Cannon. You guys gave me a path, got selected. Fuck yeah, dude. Cannon Air Force Base. So Cannon Air Force Base, that would have been, I think, on a PMT, maybe. I was actually at Oki by then. So I had left 1322 by then, but I actually was there at that Cannon Air Force Base trip. So very cool, man. Congrats to you. All right, let's jump into it. Let's talk about 7th group and going into, we got a super chat real quick. Callus with a $20 super chat. No message, brother. Very generous, thank you. But you can put a message in there if you want. If you got a message and you forgot to, let me know. All right, let's jump into it, guys. We are going to talk about U.S. Special Forces entering Mexico. So let's do it. All right. Hold on. We got it. Oh, I got a re-web browser here. Stand by one. All right. Cool. Believe we're good. All right. So let's check this out, right? 7 Special Force or U.S. Special Forces landing in Mexico to train Marine infantry. This was from 22 hours ago. So this is new. A lot of people are saying this isn't new. Well, the Mexican Senate actually voting to approve this happened about a week ago. And yes, this is recent. Okay. So it says here, El Paso, Texas, Border Report, a Mexican Senate Commission has approved the entry of members of the U.S. Army's 7th Special Forces Group, Airborne, into the country starting this week. The Americans will come fully armed as part of a mission to train Mexican Navy's Infanteria de Marina. I don't speak Spanish, guys. Apologies. On conventional and unconventional types of combat. All right, so that means we are going to be primarily focused on tactical-based training. We can teach a lot of different things, but this is going to be working with their Marine Corps, their infantry forces, teaching them straight up tactical training to combat the cartels with. Okay. So the training takes place from February 17th, so that's 3 days from now. It's literally happening through March 30th. And I'm not even going to try to say these names. According to Senator Alejandro Moreno Cardenas, president of the Mexican Senate Naval Ministry Commissions. All right, so how many? This is important, and talk about numbers, right? So you guys can understand how this isn't like a small force. I know 220 soldiers doesn't sound like a lot. Special Forces, this is a shit ton of people, okay? Because again, we work on 12-man ODAs. So you're sending 220 soldiers from 7th Special Forces Group. I would guess, you know, you have maybe half of this is Green Berets, probably a little bit less. The other half is going to be support from all sorts of different things, right? I would assume this is maybe a company size element, maybe five. And again, this is just speculation based off how this stuff usually works. Um, that this is probably about 5 or 6 teams, ODAs worth of guys, which is significant. That's big. That's about 1/3 the size of all of Afghanistan, right? When we would have our guys in Afghanistan. So pretty substantial force when it comes to U.S. Special Forces being deployed down there. And then it says down here, 7th Special Forces Group, whose motto is De Oppresso Liber. That's not 7th Group mottos. That's everybody's motto. Has participated in peacekeeping operations in Panama, Peru, Ecuador, and has been deployed to Afghanistan, also known as the Green Berets. They participated in Operation Just Cause, which resulted in January 1990 capture of Panama dictator General Manuel Noriega. All right, hold on, guys. There's just a shit ton of noise going on in my house right now. All right. Sorry about that. We got all kinds of stuff going on at the house. All right. So that's overview. A little bit of overview about what's happening. Why is this significant? I mean, we're sending not 200 Green Berets, but we're sending a significant amount of 7th Special Forces Group down into Mexico to start training Mexican infantry. It's a big deal, right? We're not going to do this if we don't potentially think that there's a lot going on. Sorry. All right. What do we got? 10th Mountain here. All right. Are you at the border? You guys got you guys got shipped there recently. We got a super chat. Would there be blowback in places like Los Angeles where gangs are rampant once they see Paco and Lupita's house door broken down by an SF guy? Interesting question. I talked about this. Hold on, we're in the wrong one. Interesting question. I talked about this, I think, in the video I did with Chris Cappy on Task and Purpose. And is there going to be potential blowback on the American side of the border? It's possible, but I think the cartel knows if you start killing American citizens with Donald Trump as a president on the American side of the border, the escalation is going to get ramped up to 1,000%. And if you're the cartel, do you really want that? I don't know. Probably not. So I think unless things get really bad, I don't foresee a whole lot of violence from the cartel on the US side of the border. I'd see a lot more of it happening against politicians, government officials on the Mexico side of the border first. But yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see. I wish I had every answer. I don't. Right. Being a first group guy, I'd never worked in Latin or Central America. This just comes from a perspective of how the Green Beret job works in general. But yeah. And what do we got? What did I miss? Did I miss a chat? I got those ones. We're good. We're good. All right. I definitely missed a bunch of comments. I'll try to catch back up here. What's the difference between this and the other times we've trained them? Well, who's them? Right? I got this. I put out a video on this. If you guys are looking for sort of a introductory into this, we talked a little bit about it. I put out a video earlier today on this. Then and we got hundreds of comments about like, yeah, the Zetas. This is what happened. It's like, okay, well, the Zetas were a completely different unit, completely different area than Mexican Marines, right? The Mexican Marines, and again, this doesn't mean that there's not corruption inlaid in the Mexican Marines, but Mexican Marines, as far as we know, are sort of the least compromised towards the cartel of any of the Mexican military units, which is why it's a good thing that they're the ones that we're deciding to train right now. So again, you never know, right? But unlikely that an infantry force is going to break off. Like a small special forces force that we were training, like on behalf of the CIA, a lot more likelihood of that. But again, I don't know. Do I see like the Mexican Marines breaking off and becoming part of the cartel? No, I don't. But again, who knows? It's a can of worms down there, guys. All right, we got a couple super chats. Let me get to these real quick, guys. Cody, $10. Thank you very much. Very generous, brother. Appreciate you. How do you think USA being shut down will impact my old job? Ooh, this is an interesting question. It's almost an entire video on that by itself. When bad people stop getting paid, they tend to become instant problems. No doubt, homie. And in Afghanistan, right? Reality's reality. We paid warlords a shit ton of money, millions of dollars. I went to a warlord's mansion in Kandahar, right? That we had paid, I don't know, ungodly amounts of money to not side with the Taliban, right? So, yeah, that's a real question, right? When people stop getting paid off, right? Are they going to become a problem? I think potentially. As for U.S. aid, dude, that's a massive can of worms. I mean, I think we're all learning how messed up that entire thing is. I don't know, as a part of like where that money's going. Um, I don't know, brother. We got a lot to see coming forward on that one for sure. All right, another super chat. Kangaroo Bot, $5. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Hey Nate, do you think there are any social media influencers who are working with the cartels to promote anti-American propaganda? Any social media influencers working with the cartels? I mean, I don't think so. Like that. Oops, I lost my chat. I don't think like that I know of. Not really. Like in the special operations sort of realm, like everybody's kind of like special operations to smash the cartels. I don't see any of it yet. There definitely could be, right? Maybe in avenues that I don't know about. Maybe you guys know a little bit better than me. I haven't seen it personally. M. Corbin, what's up, brother? $5. Appreciate you. What if the government is the cartels? Recent election down there with president was ugly. Yeah, so that's a fair question. The Mexican government is not the cartels. However, does the cartel have access and placement all the way through the entire government, including politicians and government officials that are cartel members? Yes. So, how do you I think what Mexico has to do is they have to go sort of the El Salvador route where they literally fucking arrest everybody. Everybody that possibly is connected with the cartel goes to prison, whether you're the vice president, whether you're a senator. Otherwise, how do you really actually start to eliminate this? Because, yeah, man, this is a this is one of those things of like America is trying to solve one of the most complicated problems in a different country that we're also allied with. So we don't really have the ability to really do what we need to do. We need Mexico to do a lot more than they've been doing. And are they going to? Guys, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in it, but again, my thing is this. We've done nothing. Excuse me. We've done nothing so far. Like the last 4 years. It's been nothing. And so how many combat deployments do I have? Why do you keep asking me that? I have let's see. 4 or 5 deployments. Bunch of Valor awards, bunch of combat awards. All out throughout Asia and Afghanistan. I'm going to have 42 months deployed. Is that good enough for you? Moving on. All right. Just send Shrek in the A team. It'll be over in a week. Maybe. I mean, that dude does solo op. Right? I mean, I don't know if they're true or not, but as far as I know, nobody's come out and said that they're not. So I'm going to assume Shrek shit's real. Mexican Navy group, they're going to train called Fezam. They're Spec Ops. I'm from Mexico. There's a Navy group called Fez there. Better group called Fezam. Okay. I don't know a whole lot about that. Again, I wish I knew more, right? Um, again, I'm coming from a lens of, counterinsurgency, foreign internal defense from Green Berets. If we were going to talk, if like the Taiwan China conflict were to pop off and war started there, I'd be your guys' guy. I know that like the back of my hand. This, I'm still learning a lot, right? Myself. All right, we got another super chat. Insanity Pepper, $5. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Could you see the CIA leaving a single cartel in power who agrees to work with us and keep really bad crimes to the minimum? Great fucking question, man. That's guys, this is like out of the box thinking, okay? And I love a question like that because Mexico, right, is a little bit different than Afghanistan, where you have like the Taliban. That's the opposing insurgency force. They are trying to vie their way to have power, political power, all those types of things. The cartels, you got, I don't know, 8 to 10 different cartels all vying for power all over Mexico. If you could sort of unite that or have single control by one cartel force that kept the violence to a minimum, stopped the drug trade, although again, they got to make their money somehow. I don't know, but I mean, kind of would be ideal compared to what we got now. It'd be a lot more stable. It's kind of the Saddam Hussein idea, right? Of the enemy that we know is better than the enemy that we don't know. And when we remove them, actually, it got 1,000 times worse in the region. So maybe, but I do like that question. That's it. It's an out of the box thinking question for sure. I think I missed a super chat. Stand by, gentlemen and ladies. I know we got some in here. M. Corbin, again, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Have you read Unrestricted Warfare by Xiao Liang and Wang Chengsu? I have not. Sounds good. A lot of corruption on our side of the border, too. Yeah, well, definitely. Do I know anything about Brazilian special forces? I don't, man. Again, like I wasn't a 7th group, dude. So I'm learning more. I'm learning about this conflict. Obviously, right? This is kind of the this is the big thing right now. Cartels, the southern border. So I'm trying to keep myself educated. And I do have buddies in 7th group. So what I'm probably gonna do is reach out. I usually always can get like a sit down interview with one of my buddies who can deep dive me about what's really going on anonymously and that doesn't give up mission sensitive information. And so that's what I'm looking at doing next to get out to you guys so we can get like a no shit on the ground from SF dudes. This is what's happening. So that's sort of my next thing I'm working on is how special forces is actually being used in Mexico. All right, another super chat. Thank you very much, Jacob Walbert, $5. Appreciate you, brother. How did 2 planes take down 7 buildings in NYC on 9/11? Well, if I gave you guys my real feeling about 9/11, I'd probably get my fucking show canceled immediately. How do I say what I think happened there? You guys familiar with the USS Liberty? In the chat, let me know. You guys familiar with that? I think 9/11 was probably USS Liberty round 2, and I'll leave it at that. I think that'll be good enough to where I get my point across and I don't get canceled. But that's what I think. That's what I think 9/11 probably was. Why? Well, we got America into the Middle East for 20 years to carry out interests for, you know who. Okay. Sorry, right? I mean, I'm not anti anybody, but like if we look at things fucking realistically, somebody's got a little bit of a track record. All right. So was that good enough without getting myself demonetized and fucking banned off YouTube? Yeah. All right. Cool. I did miss some super chats there though. Stand by. Oh god, I missed a couple. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are awesome on this Valentine's Day. I'm gonna have to take my wife out to a nice dinner tomorrow with your donations so she doesn't hate me. All right, Squinter, $5. Do you think China will make a play for Taiwan? What's your opinion on the military? Obviously, they are not goat herders with AKs. And then Pegasus, $5. No comment. Thank you, brother. All right. I miss another one too. Jesus, you guys are flying in the chat. Oh my God. Okay. Stand by. I'll get to the rest of this. China, Taiwan. Do I think China is going to make a play for Taiwan? Okay. So the unit I came from, we were the siege of Soda for the upcoming conflict in Taiwan. My ODA, I've got videos of this, was actually the first special forces or any military team to proof of concept a military free fall jump into an island on the South China Sea to then bring in Marine HIMARS to facilitate strikes into the South China Sea if that were to happen. Right. So we were doing very high level strategic level stuff right before I retired that I was a part of. So yes, I'm very, very, this conflict, I wish, I don't want it to happen, but if it were, I'd be your guy for that. Do I foresee it happening? Not in the next 4 years. No. China doesn't make, China's got the long game, right? Like they look 100 years in the future. Now's not the time. Will it happen eventually? Oh, that's another can of worms, guys. That would be a whole video on its own, which I could definitely do if you guys are interested in that. But, yeah, I don't want to, that would take me 30 minutes to walk through. Do I think it's going to happen in the short term? No. Do I think they're going to forcefully take Taiwan at any point? No. I think they're going to do it the way they did Hong Kong, where they're going to infiltrate, use politicians, and they're going to take it democratically over the long term. Maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now is how I foresee it. And then it'd just be like, oh, well, we got it. Whoops. Right. So but again, we'll see. All right. Get to these other super chats. God damn. I missed a few of them. Grand Bear. Shrek as new sheriff of Tijuana. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you guys know how he got the name Sheriff of Baghdad? You guys know the story? And then we got Hook. We'll get back to that in a second. We got Hook, $5. Beautiful and peak optics, highly diplomatic answer. My heart goes out to you. Thank you, brother. Very generous. I appreciate you. Thank you for the dono. Thank you all very much. Jason Oliveria. We got, I think that's Aussie, $7.99. Why won't Zelensky mediate? Why so stubborn? We're going to talk about that in the last part of the video. Is the war going to end? We're definitely going to hit that. Def do a video on China. Yeah, we're probably going to do it. We're probably going to do one eventually. It's not really in the news media right now. Yeah, you got to kind of have to follow the algorithm if you got a YouTube channel, if you know what I mean, guys. Like if I put out a big giant video on the China-Taiwan conflict, nobody really cares right now. It's not going to get a lot of traction. Everybody cares about the border, right? So that's kind of what we're focused on right now. So, all right, super chat from John Pico Jones, $5. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Our opinions might not always align, but I have a lot of respect for you. Thank you all for what you do. You're a solid ass man. Appreciate it, bro. So, what I've noticed, I'll talk a little bit about my channel, my demographics, my analytics. All right, I don't do a whole lot of political content. Here and there, whenever I touch on it, I very quickly find out I have a very wide range in my audience from political spectrum, from left and right. And I think that's fantastic. I have no issue if you have a different political opinion than me. I'm very moderate myself, to be honest. I mean, I know moderate now like makes me far right based off of how shit's working. But I've always been moderate. I've always been a very socially liberal and very sort of fiscal and foreign policy based conservative. That's sort of been my politics. I got nothing against your opinions as long as you don't try to be verbally offensive or verbally abusive to me or the people in my channel, which a lot of people can't do. So if you want to express your opinion and we disagree, you're never going to see me give you a hard time. If you try to attack me, I'm going to make fun of you and call you a fucking dipshit in my channel. That's just the way it goes. But I respect your opinion if you're respectful of mine. All right. And I think that's a good thing about this channel is we got very wide range of people that follow it. All right, we got a bunch of super chats. You guys are fucking blowing me up today, guys. Thank you. All right, let's get to Pegasus P12. Yeah, $5. All right, here's his message. I'm going to send a message with the first super chat. How likely do you think things got hot like in Afghanistan? Does the public have the morale for it? Do you mean against the cartels in the southern border? How likely? I mean, we're going to find out real quick. Me and Jake were talking about this on the war room right before this. The first U.S. soldier or civilian, where it's most likely to be a soldier, that is killed in a gunfight in this conflict, and it's coming, guys. It's going to come. That is going to tell us a lot. The response from society, the response from politicians, the response from the president, response from the military is going to tell us very quickly if we're going to have the stomach for this. Because if we want to go down this road for real with the cartels over the next 5 to 10 years, there will be heavy bloodshed. And bloodshed at our door, right? Because this is a nation that is here. This isn't transposed 4,000 miles away in the desert. This is on our doorstep. So we'll find out. We'll find out real quick if America has the stomach for this or if they don't. Good question. All right, Ebes, $5. Thank you, brother. Thanks for telling the truth about 9/11. I don't know if it's the truth. Guys, I got no idea. From former submariner, I know we have a track record of being involved in false flag. Yeah, again, I have no idea, but I can say when I look at everything, right, after myself having fought in that conflict, a lot of arrows point towards the same thing. That's all I'll say. But again, I don't know. I don't know any better than you guys do. That's just my best critical thinking answer when I really think critically about everything. All right, we got another one. Jeez, God. And I'm way behind. All right. Sorry, guys. J Towels, $5. Thank you, brother. Do you think it'll get to the point of kidnappings and assassinations in the U.S. by the cartels? It's been their MO in the past. Talked about this on multiple videos. In Mexico, in the near term, probably in the next 6 months, yes, for sure. But I mean, that's been going on. In America, again, in border towns, right on the border, potentially, right? But like I said, if the cartel starts axing civilians and people on America's side of the border and it becomes a problem, I do think they know the blowback from this president is going to be extreme. And he's going to stop caring about what anybody thinks. And he's just going to say, okay, go slaughter all of them. And I think that I think they're going to be hesitant to do that. But we'll see. All right, Full Metal Sloth. What's the difference of first group and seventh group? Really just the area of operations that we work in. So first group works in Asia, seventh group works in Central and South America. So that's the premier ones. And then we all sort of rotated in and out of the Middle East for 20 years. Okay, I'm almost caught up. Grand Bear again with $5. A lot of rumors of Zelensky sending arms to the cartels. Okay, I saw Tucker Carlson talking about that. Has anybody seen anything other than Tucker Carlson's interview where he mentioned that? And no knock, I really like Tucker Carlson. And he said he knows specifically for 100% fact. I never really hear him saying that it's happening. I don't know if it's happening. I don't know if there's any proof behind that. I'm not sure why that would be happening. Seems like Ukraine would want all the arms that they could possibly get, but I don't know. We'll have to, I guess we'll have to wait and see. What did I miss? I missed one. $5 from SA Quad Nonsum. Definitely didn't say that right. Thank you for everything that you've sacrificed in your time and service, brother. May God bless you and your family. Thank you. Man, I didn't really sacrifice anything. The job's fucking awesome. It was the best job in the world. I know I've made a lot of videos about dark side of special forces, all the negatives. There is a lot of negatives. All right. You're probably going to get divorced. Probably going to lose your family. Probably going to end up just beat to shit with 10 surgeries and PTSD like I did. But there's nothing quite like jumping out of an aircraft at 18,000 feet in the middle of the night with an oxygen tank on your back with all your buddies. Right. So, yeah. I got a video on that coming, guys. It's just the news cycle is so fast now. It's hard for me to keep up with doing like really good special forces related stuff. I'm trying to get back to it. But we're going to do we did a dark side of special forces. We're going to do a light side of special forces. I'm going to give you guys the back side of like all the best parts about the job. All right. Jesus. I'm trying to keep up here. Okay. What do we got? I know I missed some already. All right. Oh, Jason Oliver. I think that's Aussie 1499. Thank you, brother. Your opinion on U.S. and allied troops deploying into the Middle East? As far as I know, we're pulling everybody out of Europe and the Middle East for the most part, other than Iraq and Syria. I'm sure we're not about to give that up. I will say this. I got to think about how to say this. It has to be like, again, keep in mind, guys, I've only been retired for 14, 15 months. So obviously 80% of the guys, 90% of the guys that I work with are still active duty. So I do have access to a lot of information that's potentially I can't share with you. I'm not going to say who told me this. Okay. I'll just leave it that way. But a friend of mine who was in the Middle East for the last year or two, very high level in, we'll just say special operations. I'm not going to say the unit, had told me basically he believes we'll be back in Afghanistan. And this was a year ago, within 5 years, for 100% fact of what he thought. And he's someone, again, way higher level than me. I hope not, but there's potential in that. But thank you very much, brother. Thanks, Jason. All right. $10 from, oh God, you guys are blowing me up. Holy shit. Thank you guys. This is hard to keep up. I'm just getting to super chats right now. Nate, this is unrelated to the topic, but I want to get your thoughts and opinions on England's national security as Ozzy Osbourne final concert approaches. Do you think England is prepared? Ooh, we talked about this on the War Room. Actually, England's doing a lot of interesting stuff. They've got a new program where they're letting sort of hackers and cyber warfare MOSs into the military with no basic training and no physical fitness requirements. Interesting. I did a video on England a while back on how they basically spent the last 20 years gutting their national defense budget and their military. So I think that they're panicking to get national security back on the forefront, on top of England and Europe has its own immigration issues. They let a lot of people into their countries they probably shouldn't have either. Right? So and I think we all know what's going on there. Okay, so we'll see. England's got to figure their shit out too, because I think it's getting dangerous in a hurry. Squinter, $5. Thank you, brother. In your opinion, can we defend against nationwide EMP power grid attack? No. When we go to war with China and Taiwan, you can expect to see the entire power grid go down immediately, and we're probably not prepared for that. So yes, it is scary, and yes, it's a real threat, and they are ready to do it. I'll leave it at that. All right, Mark D, $10. Thank you, brother. My son is in first group Japan, 18 Charlie. Do I need to worry about him out in Oki? Right, he's in Oki if he's 18 Charlie. No, he's probably in one of the safest places right now. Again, I don't see the conflict in Taiwan kicking off at any time soon. Nor do I see us really getting involved if it does. I know people hate to hear that. But no, Okinawa does not, during even the 20-year war and the global war on terror, and except for like 2006, Okinawa did not go and participate. It's the vacation group. We call it that for a reason. Spent the last 3 years of my career out there. Awesome. But yeah, very low likelihood of combat out in Oki. All right, Quiet Professional, $10. What's up, brother? Tell Seal Man when you talk to him next that Muslim special forces will be down in Mexico to take out the cartels. Hashtag Tim Kennedy eats ass. Wow, man, you went for it, huh? You can tell him yourself. Sunday at noon. Jake Zwig and I, Navy SEAL versus Green Beret podcast. It's turning into a pretty popular show pretty fast. So you come in, check it out. You guys will like it. Me and Jake Zwig just talking shit, talking about different things going on. All right, Super Chat, Bubba Flynn, $5. Thank you, brother. Opinion on Recon Marines. Ooh, I love this question. Ship off to boot camp, recon contract, 5-6 months. I'm looking for advice on basic reconnaissance course. So, two of my teammates on my first ODA were former Force Recon Marines that then got out and became Green Berets, which, to be honest, were the best soldiers I've ever met in my entire life. Highly impressed. Whenever I have met or dealt with Recon Marines, I've been extremely impressed as some of the best soldiers I've ever seen. Unit, I think, is super crazy impressive. Doesn't get enough credit for what they do. I think MARSOC is probably about to dissipate and go away, and they're going to go back to a heavy focus on Force Recon as sort of the premier unit in the Marines. I think we're going to see that probably in the next 1, 2, 3 years, would be my guess. So good on you, brother. You're going to a really, really good unit if you can make it. It's not going to be easy, though. You better be able to fucking swim. I'll tell you that. All right. Do we catch up? Whew. No, we didn't catch up. Jesus Christ, guys. All right. One more super chat. I almost made it. All right. Daily Bassist. I hope I said that right. $5. Thank you very much. We know some of the cartel's supply or originates in China. Fentanyl for sure. Yes. Is there a chance Chinese government faces consequence as a result of this or the conflict? They should, right? So either fentanyl or the preambles to make fentanyl are all, for the most part, coming to China and then being trafficked into Mexico and Canada. Keep in mind, there's heavy drug trafficking coming in from Canada. There's plenty of cartel in Canada too. One of the big problems is the cartel now is in Canada and they'll receive the preambles to make fentanyl and they'll make it in Canada and bring it in through the northern border. So should they face consequences? Yes. Will they? Probably not. This is just the way it works. Our economies are so intertwined that everybody talks a big game and nobody ever does anything about it with China, unfortunately. So I wouldn't expect to see anything really that big of a deal come out of it. All right. Whew. Good God. You guys force me on try to keep up there. Very generous on those super chats tonight, guys. Thank you. All right. A couple things we still need to talk about. We're at about the hour mark. We got a little bit left. We got probably about 20, 30 minutes left. We got about halfway through. And then we are going to next. All right, we can talk about a few things. A lot of people keep asking about Mike Glover situation. What we could do, I don't really want to get into it because I just sat down with Greg Lappin and Field Craft Survival, and we literally did a collab podcast together this afternoon. And it's a 40-minute podcast where we lay out everything. Okay, so if you guys want to know, like, we're full transparency, here it is. We're never going to talk about it again, right? Then just tune in tomorrow, 10 a.m. I'll put the video out then. It's going to answer all your questions. Got any specific questions you want asked, you can ask them here. I'll give you the best answer I can based off of what I know from Fieldcraft and myself. Other than that, shoot those questions now. We'll get it out of the way. And if not, we are going to talk about, is the war in Ukraine going to end? Any questions? If you guys are good on that, we're going to move on into. Didn't this dude say there was no way SF would be used? Man, you have to do a little bit more critical thinking than just looking at the title of videos, homie. Nowhere did I ever say that. Did I say Delta Force wouldn't probably be the premier lead element into fighting the cartels? Yes, I said that. But I also said a month ago, 7 Special Forces Group would be the first unit to go into train Mexico. Yes, that's what I said. I hate to call people stupid, man, but goddamn, sometimes some of you really make me wonder what the comprehension level is on some of my comments here. All right. What do I miss here? 1-1 last deployment in Afghanistan was 2012, not 2006. Okay, sure. Cool. Fucking 12 years ago. That's all you had? All right. You got me. It was over a decade ago. What else we got? Over the Mike Glover situation, 3 sides of every story. I mean, reality is, at this point, like, I don't know what happened, right? I know that he got arrested again. I know the full story, the first things that happened. Obviously, that's why I came out and defended him, because I knew what was going on. But yeah, man, I mean, you can't keep getting arrested for the same shit and expect people to keep coming and defending you. It's not going to happen. Like, he's a big boy. Mike's a big boy. He's going to figure his shit out. He's going to pull his fucking bootstraps up and he's going to do it. But for now, like, he's kind of on his own. You know what I mean? Hold on. What did you just say up here? Watch yourself in the comment sections here. Get yourself banned pretty quick. All right. All right. So nothing on that. Cool. We're going to move in. Talk about Ukraine. Okay. And YouTube, I swear, whenever I put out any video on Ukraine, you guys can go back and look at my videos and look at the view numbers. If I put anything out that is neutral to anti-Ukraine, that video gets limited and demonetized so fast. It is nuts. You cannot say anything critical of that place on YouTube. They will hammer you into the ground. But we're on live, so we can talk about it. All right, so we'll talk real quick about what's been going on. So if you can see over the last day or two, Trump has been meeting with Putin, talking to Putin, talking to Zelensky. There's been a lot of talks about trying to work something out, but you also saw that Trump said, man, this is maybe a week or less ago and I put it in one of my videos where I talked about this, that we are looking at a new partnership with Ukraine to potentially continue supporting them in exchange for their rare earth minerals, primarily titanium and uranium. So, my question to you guys is, now that we've sort of maybe decided or uncovered that we don't want Russia to have access to all this titanium and uranium, is America going to continue to drag this conflict out? And it's not just the natural resources, it's also the military industrial complex that's making billions of dollars supplying the weapons and ammunition to this conflict. So that's what I want to see from you guys. What do you think? Do you think this war is ending here in the next 30, 60, 90 days? Or is this going to be a drag out Cold War, next 10-year conflict that goes nowhere? What y'all think? Ideas in the chat. Judas John, $10. You hitting the club tonight after taking it in? One man production, always better model than mainstream media. All right, no, I'm not. I'm not hitting the club, man. I haven't hit the club in forever. What does SOTF mean? Special Operations Task Force. So it's typically you have the SOTF and then the CJ SOTF Command Joint Special Operations Task Force. The SOTF is typically a battalion level and for special forces. So you would have, let's say, 18 special forces ODAs underneath a battalion, and the battalion commander is typically the SOTF commander, and then the CJ SOTF, the combined joint special operations task force, that encompasses pretty much all of special operations in an area. Typically like a two to four, no, not a 4-star, two to 3-star general will be in charge of that. So that's what SOTF, CJ SOTF means. Vance didn't mention Ukraine once at Munich. That's not great if we're talking about trying to end it. Not seeing it ending soon. Do seeing it ending soon. A lot of back and forths. Have I looked into the unclassified JFK, MLK, RFK files? No, but I will say you guys have watched the coverage that Anna Polina is taking over as declassifying the JFK, MLK, RFK files. You guys have all seen that. What she has also done is come out and made public statements about how she is not happy with the John Chapman situation either. For those of you who don't know, her husband is a combat controller, former combat controller. So, I can't really talk too much about that, but we should potentially have a couple updates going forward. Yeah, and maybe we can get Congresswoman Polina to come on the channel for a podcast. We'll see. Might be a good likelihood of that to talk about the John Chapman case. I'm not going to say anything beyond that, but could be some updates coming soon. Love the channel. Thanks, brother. JTAC. I was a JTAC. I'm retired now. Was never a good one. Well, SOTAC. I mean, I was I technically was a SOTAC, but they never actually let me drop real bombs. We would always have a combat controller attached to us for real combat. They didn't ever think I was smart enough to be able to drop real bombs. All right, we'll do a little bit of Q&A and we'll wrap this up. It's been a good talk tonight, guys. Appreciate you guys coming out. I didn't miss that. Probably about 10 minutes. Shoot all your questions. And yeah. Then we'll kick it off and bounce. An early bounce for Valentine's Day. Is it true that I failed CDQC? No. You got a lot of interesting questions, like you know who I am, but you obviously don't. Interesting. How do you become a JTAC as a Green Beret? You go to what's called SOTAC, Special Operations Task, no. What is SOTAC? Special Operations Tactical Air Controller Course. It's a doozy. And we all go to it. So anybody that's going to be a JTAC for Special Operations, Combat Controllers, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, we all go to the same JTAC course. So I had Combat Controllers in my course, SEALs in my course, Green Berets in my course. Might have had a couple MARSOC guys in my course. But yeah. Yep, we're gonna get some updates on the Chapman thing. Don't worry, there is big news coming. Again, I just can't talk about it yet. This way this stuff works. What's your thoughts on TK's recent interview on Overdog's podcast with Mike Perry? I mean, he's running off to UFC fighters. I don't know, man. He's going where he can. Is Delta the best unit when it comes to CQB? I mean, yes, I would say like it's their. I mean, they're doing. Well, you got Delta, DevGru. You've got the CRIF units, right, and SF, all extremely high level in CQB. But most likely, yeah, I would say Delta probably is the highest trained. They spend the most time doing it. Yeah, so I would say, yeah, Delta just off the top, I would say they're probably the highest level. And DevGru's right behind that, obviously. Is it true Green Berets get the best gear? Fuck, no. We're a tier 2 unit, homie. Delta gets way better gear. DevGru gets better gear. Everybody, Air Force Spec War gets better gear. We're sort of like mid-tier. We get like pretty good stuff, but we're usually a tier down when it comes to equipment. Like I didn't have quad knots, right? I had PBS 31 white phosphorus, but not quads. So we're like right there below. Is 10th Mountain, bro? Why do you keep asking me how many combat deployments I had? I already fucking answered your question earlier, dude. You just asked me if I failed CDQC. No, I didn't. So like, what are you doing? I'm just gonna ban you. It's like you think you know anything about me, but you don't. All right. Not gonna spam my chat. I've literally put my fucking Valor Awards, Combat Awards, and fucking DD214s in my videos. I don't know what this guy thinks. He thinks he's gonna get me like Tim Kennedy. Not a thing. All right. Keep moving. German KSK or KSM? No, I never worked with any other European units. Not a 10th group dude. Was shared a compound next to Polish Grom dudes in Afghanistan, but didn't work with them. Updates on Mike Glover? Yes, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time. putting out a joint podcast, me and Fieldcraft Survival did. Yep. Putting that out at 10 a.m. It's already done. I just got to edit it and put it up. Pretty much completely transparent. Tell you everything you need to know that we know. All right. And again, we're going to move on from there. People trying to compare dicks between SF units need to stop. Everybody has their own specific usage and directives. That's true. Other than Marsoc, who kind of doesn't know what they want to be. But yeah, Polish Grom is known as one of the best special operations units. You were in the 760th EOD, OEF 1112, pinups for Vets 2020. I'm a mod for other channels if you ever need a chat monitor. Appreciate it, brother. We might get there. Chat's starting to move faster and faster. Do a video on my first combat. I have a few videos on that, I think. If you guys notice, I don't talk about my war stories or my combat. Not because I don't have a lot of them. You don't get the awards I have by not, but I just don't think that it's I don't think it's something that I need to tell you guys about all the time. I don't want my channel and my story to be like war and combat. I think there's too much of it out there. You guys have heard all of it before. I'd rather you guys watch my channel for entertainment, education, perspective, right? Yes, I could tell you all the craziest cool war stories and near ambushes and all that shit, but maybe someday I'll talk a little bit about that. I did it on the Team House podcast like a year ago. I talked pretty in detail on a lot of my crazier missions, but it's just not something I want to be known for, right? I think there's too much of that. It's the easy button to be like, look at me, let me tell my war stories on podcasts, but we've all heard the same. We've all heard these war stories 100 times. The war's over. Nobody really cares anymore. Terry Hesticles. Good one. $5. Thank you, brother. Have a beer on me. Thank you. Are you still making a Red Wings video? Yes, I promise I am. It's hard, guys. Like every time I'm trying to, I've been thinking about it. I have it laid out. And you guys always pound me on it every single time. I need to just write this shit down. Red Wings. Let's do that one. We'll do that one this week. Hopefully put it out next week. And again, it's going to be from the lens of failures you guys haven't heard of, especially backside communication failures, because some of the shit you guys are going to hear is going to blow your minds for how sort of incompetent it was before they walked out the door, from people I know personally who were there. Yeah, we'll get to it. I say good friend was in Iraq in the same camp with the Polish Grom. They got kicked out for selling guns and steroids and then got asked to come back. Hell yeah, dude. I'm all about that. That's what SF's all about. For sure. Do I think it's laughable tier 1 units will be used in Mexico? I didn't say they would be used. They wouldn't be used in Mexico. If you watch my videos, I would have told you they would not be the lead element to combat the entire cartels, and it would not happen in the near future. Those are the two things. So please watch my videos before you ask questions like that. You guys drive me a little bit crazy. All right. Nathan Jones, $10. Thank you, brother. Very, very generous. Did you conduct any training at Dugway Proving Ground, Utah? No, but I am probably going to be out there in Utah. I don't know. I got to talk to Greg at Fieldcraft Survival. We've been working backside on doing some partner training between our two businesses for a long time, well before the whole Glover thing happened. And we should have that out probably in the spring or summer, which I'll probably be out there and they'll be out here, which would be cool. In Proving Ground. So look out for that. But thank you for the dono, brother. All right. What else we got? Marsoc has an identity crisis because the corpse has one for quite a while. Well, like the Marines also don't like Marsoc as part of the problem. Like big Marine Corps wants to get rid of Marsoc. They have forever. So that's part of the problem too. Is their own branch doesn't support them. Have I ever worked with CA? God, you must not have watched my earlier videos, Hobby. I fucking can't stand CA. Every time I needed something from them, from the embassy, it was always a fucking shit show. They were too busy at embassy parties instead of doing their job. So, not a big fan. Not a big fan. But if you want like a good cush job in special operations with all the pay and all the benefits and all the promotion structure and none of the hard work, CA's your route. A bunch of Mormons in 10th group? Yeah, there actually are. There's a lot of Mormons in SF, not just 10th group. It's actually like I used to think it was super weird. And then it kind of made sense when you think about like Mormon history. Like Mormons fought off the fucking US Army for a long time and didn't lose. So they actually have like a pretty wild, like, combat background in Mormons. So it kind of makes sense that there's so many of them. Peaches, I don't know. Peaches in here? I just got off the war room with Peaches. Ooh, you guys, get Ben on with me to talk about Marsoc. Would you guys want to see something like that if I sat down with just Ben and me and him did like a Green Beret versus Marsoc episode where he like deep dives Marsoc, what's going on, and tells you guys that type of stuff? What do you guys think? I can talk to him. What's the feedback on that? Would you guys like to see something like that? I'll write it down. Do it? Yes. All right. Yes. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'll hit Ben up. We'll do it. We'll do a fucking episode where he walks us through Marsoc. He was one of the ones who stood up Marsoc, if I remember right. But yeah, Ben fucking knows everything Marsoc. That dude's legit. Cool. Everybody want it? Yeah. Okay. I'll hit Ben up. We'll do an episode together. That'll be a good one. I'll hit him up after this. All right. We're still rolling. Keep going. Ben is the shit. My best friend was with him when he was an XO and 1-4. Ben's call sign was Spartan. Yeah. Ben looks like Spartan, man. Ben's a good dude, man. I love doing content with Ben. But yeah, we'll get him on here. Used to have a group of raiders. I know a couple. Ben's the main one I know. What about the youngest Marsoc? Cody Alford? I imagine, Zero, you're talking about Cody Alford? Cody Alford has some crazy fucking stories, man. The fact he was in Fallujah, his story in Fallujah is insane. Insane. Yeah, that dude's impressive, man. That is an impressive man, for sure. I love his stories, man. Chat bros, stop pushing Nate's buttons. No, you're good, man. You're good. I just the one thing that drives me crazy is and it doesn't really drive me crazy, but it's people who think they saw the title of a video, right? And they assume like they don't watch it and then they just comment and try to like talk trash. The video I did where I said Delta Force won't fight the cartels, right? Like that's the title of the video, and if you didn't watch it, then you would assume, oh, that's never going to happen. But obviously, that's not what I said anywhere in the video. So, but whatever. You want to comment on my videos without watching and talk shit, please do it because it helps the algorithm, and you're just helping the channel. That's why I actually kind of like the shit talkers because you guys you get that impression through click rate up. In your experience, which faith is most prominent in the SF community? I mean, Christianity. I think that's just kind of like demographically normal for the United States, though. Coast Guard preparing. Or Coast Guard is already involved. I mean, Coast Guard's been involved in doing counter narcotics against the cartel long before everybody else. Like these dudes have been after it. So, wouldn't be surprised. How many active Delta are there estimated? If I'm going to say this is from Google, not from me, and I would say probably about 200. When you talk about operators, and then you have backside support, right? There's different support, but if you're talking about like Delta Force operators, probably like 200 to 300. Very, very, very small unit. Thoughts on 10th Mountain Division from Stargazing Loney, $2. Thank you very much. Actually worked, not worked with, but when we did a lot of our combat operations in Afghanistan, we had 10th Mountain guys attached to us as uplift force. So they actually would bring those dudes out on operations with us all the time. And vast majority of them were super squared away. Great job. Definitely, very well trained infantry force. So I didn't have any complaints about those dudes. Young, eager, wanted to learn. We got a lot of 10th Mountain guys in SF too that were former 10th Mountain. You should totally play Kratos from Halloween. Yeah, I know. That's a pretty easy button. Do you think National Guard Green Beret is your best shot on keeping a marriage together if you're coming in with a family? Not necessarily. The Q course is the Q course. It's the same for everybody. Okay. So understand that, like, whether you come in National Guard, active duty, you're going to spend 2 years getting brutalized away from your family, in and out, right? You'll be there, but you won't. Like, you're going to go out to Camp McCall for 6 to 8 weeks at a time, right? Like, that's a real thing. And it can be very, very challenging. Okay. So understand that. I think you either have a wife that can handle it or she can't. And you have to also do a lot of work to obtain that relationship, not only with your wife, your kids, but everybody, right? So I do think you'll be less task saturated in National Guard once you make it through, and you can sort of choose how active you want to be. But up front, that time sinks the same for everybody. What I miss one? Oh, M Corbin, is Insta the best way to send me info? Yeah, typically, man, my email box gets absolutely slammed. My Instagram box, guys, gets slammed as well. So if I miss your stuff, I'm sorry. I get tons of messages over there, but yes, hit me up on Instagram and I'll try to get to it. That's the easiest way to contact me. Email, I get so many emails that it's just I barely can get through them. All right. We got one here. Jason Oliveri. Sorry if I messed up your last name, brother. $7.99. Is that Aussie? I got a lot of Aussies in the community. I love that. I love the fucking Aussies, man. Will you start one-on-one face-to-face interviews? Make you grab the miso some roses? I mean, I got a one-on-one face-to-face interview with the new CEO of Fieldcraft Survival coming out tomorrow. But yes, I got the software that's really good for doing like joint podcasting. I'd like to start doing them in person, but I live in Oregon. That's like away from everybody. But yeah, we're gonna start doing a little bit more collab stuff as we go, because I know you guys like that. Jerry C says, Nate, thank you for the content. Most importantly, as always, thank you so much for your service. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man. Ranger or SF for a 22-year-old. You're actually like right in that window where you could do either. I think you're okay for SF, right? You're on the young side of it. You're on the old side to start for a Ranger. So you're kind of like in that break point. You got to decide for yourself. But you could go either way at that age. A lot of Aussies tell you you're based. Yeah, man, I love the Aussies, man. It's my favorite dudes to work with by far. All right, we're gonna go 5 more minutes, and then we're gonna jet out of here. Appreciate everybody coming out. Been a very good live. A lot of good chat today. How do you see your channel in 3 years, and what kind of impact would you like to have? Love the good work and transparency. Very good question, right? So, ideally, it's this. I would like, I imagine you guys know like Asmongold and Penguin. Was it Penguin Z? Forget his name. Like some of these guys that they can literally talk about anything they want, whether it be, current events, politics, video games, and everybody will watch. So I'd like to be able to eventually have a community the size where like I can come on, we can talk about anything, right? And I can still like garnish views and run the channel. So that's the goal to get to eventually. What we're also going to do, again, for most of you that know the channel, know I'm finishing up my master's degree full time. Asmongold, yeah, I love Asmongold, dude. I know a lot of people are like probably surprised to see that. I've been following that dude for like 10 plus years. But I am going to start 2 new channels, right? That are going to be coming as I'm getting close to graduate here in the spring. I put out a poll for it. So our VFT fitness and firearms, that's going to be the very first one we do. That's going to be a channel dedicated to, fitness, tactical based fitness, firearm stuff, all that stuff. I know a lot of you guys like that. I have a lot to offer, sort of education wise on that side. I'm in pretty good shape. And I know what I'm doing when it comes to functional and performance based fitness. So that's going to be one. And then we're looking at like, I don't know, either going to branch into some comedy type stuff. I know some professional comedians, some military comedy. I don't know. We might get into that, right? But I'm not sure. So we're gonna branch out here and there. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I think we had another super chat before we wrap it up. Cody Fachar. I'm sorry if I messed that up. Fakar. Either way, $20. Very, very generous. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you keeping us up to date. My brother is with third group currently and told me to check you out. Thank you for your service. What would you like to see happen for this year? Oh, your brother's in third group? Love that, dude. Third group's hitters. Happen for this year? I mean, I don't just in general, I'd like to see the Ukraine-Russia war end. I'd like to see the border secured. I'd like to see the economy actually improve. Yeah, those are the big ones. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, the news cycle is so crazy right now. Like if we look at it, you guys remember like the Matt Livensberger, like Tesla bombing, all this, that was like a month ago. Like think about that in the news cycle, guys. It's so crazy right now how fast everything's moving. All right, a couple more and then we're out of here. Oh, hopefully Asmon watches your live. I would love that, dude. I doubt it, but if anybody knows Asmon, tell him to hit me up. I would 100% do content with him. I love that dude. Watch this stuff all the time. Super funny. Aloha from the big island of Hawaii. What's up, brother? That I left out Gaza? What do you mean? I talk about whatever, man. I'm not afraid to talk about Gaza. What's your questions on Gaza? Be cool to interview Green Berets from different groups to talk about their group. We can do that. It's not a bad idea. I'll write that down. Was my dad in MacV? No, my dad was in the A camps in Vietnam. So he's in 46 Company, which was technically part of first group. He's probably watching live right now. What's up, Dad? Andy Young, $2. No comment. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. What am I mastering in? Getting my MBA. All right. Couple more, and we're bouncing. All right. How do I see? Okay, this will be the last one. How do I see the rebuilding of Gaza working out? I don't see it happening. I see that being a shit show for the next 50 years. So no, I don't see any rebuilding happening. Sad to say. But yeah. All right. Your dog Alpha really enjoyed chilling. Yeah, I got a Rottweiler and a Munchkin cat. Munchkin didn't show up today. But we got, last thing. Hey, we got new merch coming out with the badass logos, the new Munchkin logos. We're going to get that. We're going to get it out in the next week or two. It'll be good stuff. Oh, also, forgot to mention, if you guys are in the Pacific Northwest, my live fire courses for the spring are up. Check my Instagram. All right. If you got night vision, you want to learn how to use them, we got a big badass night vision course coming up 2-day. Biggest one is our pistol 2-day red dot pistol mastery class. You want to get way better and super proficient at using a pistol. It's one of the best pistol classes you're going to find in the Pacific Northwest by far. Not because of me, but because of my head instructor who's insanely good. So Hit me up on Instagram if you want more information on that. You're in the Pacific Northwest. And yeah, guys, it's going to wrap it up. So also 10 a.m. tomorrow, dropping the episode of Fieldcraft. I'm talking about Mike Glover exiting. And then don't forget, Navy SEAL vs. Green Beret podcast Sunday at noon. Me and Jake Swag. That one's been banging lately, guys. That one's been really popular. So come by. Thank y'all. Appreciate all the donations tonight. Very generous. Thank you very much. And take my wife out to Valentine's Day dinner tomorrow. And that's going to do it. All right, everybody. Love y'all. Happy Valentine's Day. Catch y'all on the next one. Later, boys and ladies.